each table, you listen up. Everybody, if we go around each table and just give me like just one example. Okay, so if we start here.
I think yours really, about the maths quizzes and questions in the toilets.
Yeah. Funny enough, it's funny you say that, I was actually going to put a picture up because whenever I go for a wee at the college, there's a poster telling me about English and maths. So it does work, and I don't want to talk about my toiletry habits, but I do end up standing there reading about maths and English. So that's a good example. You know, you have to use these little tricks, don't you? So cool. Next table, Lindsay's table. Just one thing.
Just the Maths Careers website, and there's some fantastic posters on there, but it's all about the relevance. If I do this course, I can then go on to do that, and the Maths Careers website is really, really good.
Okay, cool.
And they've got some great resources that are all free.
Cool. And I know one thing we're good at the college, because they come around and talk to my students, is that our marketing team asks the students, does this appeal to you? Does it work for you? Can you connect with it? So I think that's always a very important thing as well. Okay, cool. Table at the back. Marnie's table. Yeah, go on.
Just to change the environment as we walk into the whole area, that it's not just within the classrooms that becomes rotational, but actually in that hallway environment, so that when you come into the department, they know where they are.
Absolutely.
So it becomes much more visual, much more slap in your face, you know, when you
Yeah.
And to take old formulas, we talk about maths and formulas.
Yeah.
Taking old formulas for artificial solid molecules and how they've changed with new artificial molecules. And how those formulas have been derived like over the years.
I'll see less conservation in your area when they were doing about hair dyes. I need a little bit myself. It was all maths, and it was fantastic. It was really amazing. So great. Next table.
Yeah, we just got out of that point. We have wall dinos.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, fantastic. That's what it's all about. Yeah. This table?
We came up with a bit of a block. We don't really believe that we're doing it particularly well at the moment.
Okay.
And we believe we need to go back to the staff and empowering the staff. We need to be looking at involving the GCSE teams or the maths English teachers with the vocational areas. And the wheels are a fantastic idea and a way forward to start that process. Yeah,
no, definitely. And it's not all about having like big, not about not having loads of like numbers everywhere. An equation, because that's just going to annoy people.
We're talking about the culture behind it.
Yeah, you've got to have stuff.
Yeah,
you've got to kind of fly under the radar a little bit and have stuff that's kind of like not just some of the stuff I'll show you. But this table.
I can't pick one because there's one from each person and not too much like favouritism, so I'm going to just say both. Amelia, they have a mascot in their college called M, which is their English and Maths robot mascot, which sort of brands the whole English and Maths area, which we really liked. And also Anthony does a lot of Maths and English off-site in sports grounds, sports centres, football, and they use comic strip images to promote their Maths and English, which again appeals to the 16 to 19 age group, and is a really sort of catchy theme, something very visual. Yeah, we were talking very briefly about like football statistics and demand, supply, and professional footballers' wages, and there's all sorts of interesting. That was my third point. I didn't think I'd get away with it. That's right. Okay, so as you can tell, we're moving fairly fast here. So from the wider world stuff that we were doing up to about 2013, seems like a long time ago now. It definitely become part of the art school culture. Every project wasn't just about produce a film poster or something. It was like, produce a film poster, but these are the maths involved. It's got to be about this kind of thing in the universe, and it's got to be in a language that you pick out of the hat. And everything was starting to get more complex, more sophisticated, more challenging. Getting students just knowing where places are in the world, knowing a little bit about different religions and science things, and it was all going really well. And on the General Art and Design course, we did a project I was involved in, which each year we were doing a different religion. And there was one year when we did the Shiva, which is the Hindu god Shiva. And
outside the Hadron Collider, when I was researching it, there's a statue of Shiva outside. And I thought, that's interesting. A little bit weird because it's like Europe and there's an Indian thing. Not that that's the problem, but it's just like, yeah, it's kind of intrigued me. And what I found, which was even more interesting, was the reason it's outside is because Shiva is the creator and the destructor of the universe. And the whole Hindu religion talks about God particles. Yeah, and there's a whole circle thing. You can see the you can almost see the Hadron Collider, within the figure of Shiva, and it's all about the and also Shiva dances to the rhythm and the pulse of the universe. And there's a massive kind of religious science, lovely sort of interplay between that part of Hindu religion and ridiculously sort of far-end science. And so we took that further. And we did a big project on it. So in term 2, we did this big project on Shiva. Anyway, it was picked up by the International Hindu Society, and it went completely viral. And as a college, we were applauded. That was the word that they used. We were applauded by the head of the International Hindu Society for embracing the Hindu religion and making intelligent connections with science and mathematics, and they loved it. And like all these, and it's like Lindsay with her Twitter stuff that she's doing now. It kind of got picked up, and that went onto another website, another website. Before you know it, there was like something like 190 websites all saying how great we were. So we thought, oh yeah, we'll have a bit of this. So that was really good. And here's an example of one. La-da-da, that's all really good. The next year, it didn't go quite as viral, but really successful. We did Buddhism, we did mandalas, and there was lots of maths, lots of geometry, lots of measurement, and all the students did their own mandala based on their own life and history and aspirations, with the maths involved, and we collaborated with science. We had these big banners printed, so that's another good thing, if you do good projects. These big vinyl banners printed, we were all down the corridor, and we did the stuff to do with angels and demons as well at the same time, which were in these pop-up shops in town. So we were starting to get stuff out there. So we're all feeling really good about this. So the next thing is, we thought, okay, let's turn this into like an award. Let's actually pull it all together. Everybody does it. So everyone agreed that every course, level 1, 2, 3, not degree courses, but all the FE courses, would do a project at the same time, embracing maths, art, religion, science. I'm not going to claim credit for it. Craig Bloomfield, one of my excellent lecturers, came up with the Mars Award as a sort of breakdown of those things, and everyone got on with it, and it was really, really great. And so if I just read through these, so it was launched across all levels. I've said that in 2015. It's in term 2, so it focuses our students for their final major projects. So at the end of each year, every student under the University of London has to do their own self-initiated independent project, and they are marked on all sorts of things. But one of the key things to do well, it has to have complexity, sophistication, it has to be mature, challenging. It can't just be an art project about doing some drawings. It's got to kind of really get under the skin of the universe a little bit. And so doing the Mars projects, the Mars Award before that is a great springboard into that, and I think that has helped our success for that. Hopefully, maybe it's trickled into the achievement in GCSE, functional skills in GCSE, and I've been along and spoken to Trevor's team about what we're doing as well, and that was really successful. A question I'm often asked is, does everyone do the same assignment? No, they don't. And that's because they don't want to. I've got all these lecturers who want to do different things, and it'd be really bad of me to say, no, we're all going to do the same thing. So some projects are about different this and different that, and they all look a bit weird and different, but that's great. And then you see people in the staff room saying, well, we're doing this, and someone says oh, that's really interesting, but we're doing that. And it kind of get this good buzz thing going on. We have a judging panel, which is the art staff and staff from science. So we borrow a lot of their equipment, and some of our students work with the science students. So there's lots of cross pollination going on there. There's a winner per course, and then an overall winner. So the winner per course, I've got some pictures coming up, presents their work to the staff, art staff and science staff, and then we judge it. There's an overall winner, and that winner is then presented, as I put on here, at our college, which is in the cathedral each year. Our college celebration of achievement. So there is an award for all these different things, but one of them is the Mars Award, and the student who won that goes up and gets it. I think it's really important actually, because what I have noticed is that lots of staff undertaking far more kind of academic, scholarly activity because of the Mars Award. I've found people bringing in books that they've ordered for it, talking about, oh, did you know this? And I saw that. And it's all because they're doing a project. They want the project to be really great for the students. And it just gets that really good thing that any educational environment should be about, which is kind of intelligent people having intelligent conversations, but also with a good old sort of fun side to it as well. And that's been fantastic. And I've really, really noticed that. And that's certainly made the place much nicer for me to work in, because we all work a lot, you know, and it's nice to be somewhere where there's good, hearty conversations going on about intelligent things. It's fantastic evidence for embedding subjects beyond art, which is what University of Arts are looking for, Ofsted are looking for. Certainly I'm expected to do that by the organisation and by the government. All those people are expecting us to deliver a wide and curriculum that really intrigues minds, which is my next point about inquisitive, challenging, laterally thinking individual minds. That's the most important thing. I always say that teaching art within the art school is really important, but the most important thing is that I want people to come out the other side who are confident, have the kind of character strengths that we drive here at West Suffolk College, but also are people who don't just think things are rubbish and can't be bothered to be interested in things, people who are up for stuff. Yeah, and that I firmly believe that is what will take them through life in a really sort of happy and positive way. So here's some examples. So level 2 students this year did science fiction book covers. The level 3 fashion did Big Bang, which is about the different ways in which people think the universe has kind of expanded and happened. The students on general art design did a life project last year, and they did inner and outer space this year. Foundation students did a mapping project. Maps are fantastic for maths. And rituals. The graphic design students did a project called 118 Parts of the World, which is about the periodic table. And they also did a project this year, that was last year, and then this year they did a project on space tourism. That was one of the ones that was featured on Anglia News. A student called Ben was talking about the calculations between planets and time and space and time, and producing a brochure about space travel for tourists who are travelling, you know, into the sort of dimensions of outer reaches of space. Interactive media students did isometric rooms and turned them into this kind of hive, which is all about measuring their own rooms at home and then creating a fantasy interactive room. That included lots and lots of maths for that. So going back to the physical environment, as you come down the stairs, this is between the second and first floor coming down the stairs, you'll see these are lists of where all our students go to university. That was 2015, you can see that there. That was last year, 2016. I'm sure Marcus will do me another one for this year. So straight away that's about aspiration. And then here, these are the pictures of the students who have won the awards in previous years. These are little plaques, little write-ups about what their work was about. This is the Times Award that we won for the project that I'll talk about in a second. And then over here is a letter. You can't obviously see that, but you can go and have a look later if you want. A letter from the, oh God, I'm going to get this wrong now, sort of High Empress Sheriff of Suffolk or whatever, saying, and what's funny about it, because she's directed it to me. She's never met me, but it was all like, Derek, you are a wonderful man. Suffolk is proud of you. And I thought, yeah, put that on the stairs. All my staff would find it highly hilarious. But, here's a close-up of Lydia Hainsworth, who won 2015. There's Lydia in her kitchenware, in the kitchens here. And this is all about molecules and measurement of cells, and she used all the science equipment and microscopes and worked with the science students to produce the oven gloves, tea towels, aprons and stuff. It's all based on those kind of scientific things. Elliot Beaumont got sort of highly commended, if you like, because he did really well in the National Design Museum brief. which is all about sort of tessellations and angles and interlocking shapes and forms. This was Lauren, who won last year. You'll see her in a lot of the publicity. And her project was about the periodic table. It was the 118 elements, and it was all about sort of molecular calculations, but also God and creation and elements. So it's good sort of challenging, tough stuff, you know. And these are students who didn't know, they thought they'd be coming to art college to sort of draw kittens and apples for 3 years, and suddenly they're doing this sort of stuff, which is really great. And then this is Louise, who won this year, so this is kind of hot off the press. And this was actually came from a project which was about literacy, an Edgar Allan Poe quote, I think, about this. I'm going to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about now, which is quite normal. But it's about the fact there's some stars in the sky you can only see if you don't look at them, because the light travels in such a way that it has to enter your pupil from the side. Does that make any sense? Something like that. And the quote in this print is all about. It's like a metaphor for life. You know, if you want to get somewhere, don't just go in a straight line to it. You know, there's other ways, there's other perspectives of looking at where you want to take yourself. And it's all about mapping. And she mapped different parts of her life as a kind of physical image. Sort of family death and birth of children and main points of her life, and then kind of measured out the time, and then produced as a kind of map of herself, and that was what won this year. So that was a fantastic image. Really, it doesn't sort of show off well here, but these are all sort of in sort of gold paint, and there's like, holes going through, so light shines through. Really fantastic piece of artwork. This is the judging panel here. This is a student called David who's presenting his work. This is the staff all around the work looking at it. Another angle here, so it says there at the bottom, this is the judging panel. And last year we had a showcase at the Edmonds Gallery, which is sadly shut now in town, which was a showcase of the foundation students' Mars work. So we were trying to get the work out of the college and up in the town, and it was an opportunity sort of to showcase every student's work on that course for the Mars Award. The students this year, these are the general art and design students. We went to the planetarium in Greenwich. Really good actually. For £150 in total, the students got to see the biggest, I think it was I'm sure a lot of you have been there, and you sit on those really comfortable chairs. I nearly fell asleep, and you kind of get that big like dome of all the stars and all the how the universe is all made up going on above you. So they got that. They've got this thing here, which is about orbits and light of the planets. And funnily enough, just to prove the point, hold on. Yeah, David there, who's talking about his work to do with planets and orbits and all that stuff. But that's him there, you see. So he went to the planetarium, he learned about planets and orbits and stars and measurements, and then he actually did some work for it and was put forward for that. So, and then also they got a lecture from some trainee, not sort of trainee, but PhD students who are placed at the planetarium. They got lectures from them, and they also got, like I said, got this maths, science, this is about eco-planets talk by this lady who's at the front there in the question mark, and she was absolutely fantastic, really engaging teacher. This is the Big Bang project by the science students. You can see them all looking through microscopes and drawing. Some of the work from that there. These are some of the mandalas, and you can see students measuring, working out angles, distances, and they not once when the students do this do they go, oh I hate maths, I'm not doing this. You know, I was always rubbish at maths. I hate maths. They maths isn't really mentioned. I don't think. You know, you might, the word ruler might get mentioned. It's quite hard not to, or measure, but no one. But it's not introduced as right. We're doing maths, so you all do maths. You know, it's like done as a really creative exercise. And then some of the examples you show them, some of the contextual examples of, you know, sort of Star Wars mandalas and, you know, sort of manga-y ones, or whatever these kids are into. You know, so you show them at the start with it, and straight away they think, this is cool, and then you kind of go into the activity. So that works really well. These are some of the students' journals. So they all have to have a journal, page a day A4 academic journal on that course, and they do all their measurements and workings out and stuff in there. So this is a really good page here on the left of students doing maths, you know, working it all out. And then this is about symmetry and asymmetry. And this is, I've just started doing this actually on graph paper. Trevor and Debbie would laugh at me because I'm not actually very good at it. But it's about taking I remember doing it at school when you have something going on your XY axis and then you rotate it. You keep rotating it, don't you? But so
GCSE maths paper.
exactly, I could even pass. So they do these drawings, and also because about where your brain works, you can actually draw. All of you could do this. You get a pen in each hand. It's like, you know, in the same way that you can move your hands in symmetry of each other. If you put a pen in them, it means you can actually draw that as well. So if you do that and then do it on graph paper and then plot things across, you start getting some really interesting results. So again, am I teaching the students to pass GCSE maths? I don't know, but what we are doing is trying to do some really exciting, challenging artwork, which makes students think in different ways, and numbers, science, mapping, and all that is one of those ways. There's Faith there, really good students finishing this year with some of her work on the left and the right. Now this one here is interesting. Because I'm getting a bit old, I started watching Coast. Yeah, you watch Coast? I love Coast. And they quite often talk in Coast about sciencey stuff, especially mapping. And there's a really excellent one which was about fractals. And basically, not to, I don't want to go into a big lesson there, but I'm sure some of you know it. I'm sure you all know it anyway. But the question is, how long is a coastline? And the answer is, it depends what you measure it with, and that's not like some sort of clever remark. It's if you measure a coastline with a ruler which is like an inch long, and you literally go through like that down every single stone, every little bit, then that is a much longer coastline than if you use a bigger ruler, which is skipping out all those little bits. Does that kind of make sense? So there is a, it's going to sound boring now, but there's an international measurement system, and categorisation for coastlines. So say if you get a coastline which is a nice sort of sandy beach sort of thing, my wife likes to